Welcome. We bid you welcome. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner of the world for episode number. Those say I don't know what it is in German for 12, but episode 12 of Up to the Limit, where we have been talking about the band. Except today, of course, we're talking about Blood of the Nations. But my co-captain on this nearly 2 year journey on these Wednesday nights as you see these pre-premiered. John the Music Nut from the Music Nut program. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, my friend. Welcome, Logan.
And we have you've seen him in the comments and the live chat, my friends. Young Logan, welcome, brother. It is
Yep.
great to have you on board.
Great to be here, man.
Man, I'll
Ready to
tell
talk
you,
about this?
let's
Except,
let's have a little fun talking about some Blood of the Nation, shall we? All right.
yep.
So yes, we have a new sheriff in town, Mark Tornillo, formerly of TT Quick, and some. There were probably some other bands I probably forgot to write down, but anyway, he was best known from TT Quick. Comes on board, and it's been a long time since Predator, and boy, they did not disappoint, did they? So we have this was recorded through November 2009 through January 2010, released August 20th of 2010. So took some time to get this baby mixed and produced and everything done right. Recorded at the Backstage Studio in Derbyshire, England. An hour and 7 minutes long on the Nuclear Blast label with Mr. Andy Sneap at the production helm. So we've been seeing a lot of Andy Sneap prior to this in a lot of different bands with, dating back to when he was in a band called Sabbath. Of course, now he's the touring guitar player for Priest as well as the production helm as for the most part there. But there's been so many bands he was a part of, whether it was mixing, engineering, producing, from Christian bands like Living Sacrifice, As I Lay Dying, to Killswitch Engage, to I think Death was mentioned, Obituary. I saw a number of Saxon, I think would come after this album, but we
Yes.
start seeing or start hearing really the Andy Sneap sound when you get a band like this, or when you get an album like this. Only one single, which was released prior to the album coming out, released on May 21st of 2010 for the song Abyss. We do have some chart action, a little bit more than the last few albums. It's this album took off a little bit better. The Austrian charts, this one went to 19. On the Belgian charts, number 59. The Czech albums, number 27. The Finnish albums, number 9. On the French album charts, number 72. John's favorite, the German charts. On the of Vizile Top 100, number 4. This really went well, did well in their home country. Hungarian charts, number 7. Japanese charts, 74. The Spanish charts, number 78. Swedish charts, number 7. The Swiss charts, number 15. The Billboard Top 200, it breaks to 187. The independent albums for Billboard, number 41, and the top hard rock albums on Billboard, number 19. Now, what do charts really mean at this point in 2010? You're not getting a lot of physical copies, really, and I don't think this certified anything. So there's no certifications to be talked about. But here again, do charts really even mean anything by this point? Again, if you care about physical media like we do, where we do like to have it, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, not so much. But young Logan, you know the drill.
Yes, sir.
Tell us your point of entry. First of all, tell us how old you really are, because I think you're
I'm I'm 21 years old.
21 years old. So
Yep.
this album, when it came out, it was only he was only about 7 or 8 years old or so
Yep.
by the
And
time
I
he
wasn't
came out.
headbanging to it yet, quite yet. So,
So your point of entry into accept, and then just go right in. Let's talk about Blood of the Nations.
so I brought a little prop here. my Walkman here.
Ooh,
I definitely
okay.
had a lot of music from bus rides and all kinds of stuff like that. I can't remember what we had on the computer, but we had like Balls to the Wall, Restless and Wild, and Breaker, I think, on the computer. And then I found the other stuff way later. But
Okay.
just long bus rides and listening to those albums over and over again. And, getting used to Udo's voice, and because it is, acquired taste.
Sure.
But, I loved it, man. I mean, probably Balls to the Wall was my introduction, I guess. Seeing Udo on that ball. And I mean, it's just awesome. Great heavy
That's
metal
that
music.
that seems to be a lot of the point of entries for a lot of
Right.
folks. All
Yep. Yep.
right,
Well,
keep going.
so we're gonna start with this album here.
Let's
So we
start
got,
with Blood of the Nations.
yep, we got "Beat the Bastards" is the first track, which I wrote down. It's a fast driving track with an awesome sing along chorus, and the solos of Wolf are pretty awesome as well. Mark makes his presence known here with staying true to Udo's way of singing, but bringing his own raspy vocal to the fold. Reminds me a lot of Brian Johnson, kind of. He's got that screechiness little thing. But it's pretty good killer. That's a great track. Hank Sherman, or not Hank Sherman. What is the other guitar player's name? I forgot.
Herman
Herman Frank.
Herman Frank, yeah. Hank Sherman's Merciful Fate.
There you go.
Oops.
Exactly.
But yeah, he came back too. This is his first record since Balls to the Wall, which is killer. That's about all I had to say about that one. But the second track, Teutonic Terror, I think that's probably the best tune on it. Love it. The chorus of, we will give them the axe. I mean, Lizzie Borden did that in the 80s, but it's
Right.
okay. We'll be all right. uh, what else? Lead line harkens back to Balls to the Wall, Eric Sept, with the vocal line, playing with the guitar line. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's about all I had to say about that one. We had The Abyss is the third track, which I guess if Teutonic Terror isn't my favorite, then this one is my favorite. It's probably either of them two. I love Mark's vocals on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the acoustic intro goes into a great groove. A lot of the lyrics dealing with the end of the world on this one, which is pretty cool, I guess. I mean, not really, but
If you're into that kind of thing, right?
oh yeah, yeah, it's a great mid-tempo part too, and Mark's talking about like memories past, and goes great right into the solo. That's a great track too. I'd say really probably the first 6 or 7 of these songs, they're all like top tier except to me. I mean, these are just as good as any of the ones that I just mentioned earlier. But we got the title track next, Blood of the Nations, which keeps the tradition of strong title tracks. I mean, awesome lyrics dealing with war, great chorus, gang vocals on this one. I think this is the first one. Beat the Bastards kind of had gang vocals, but they do it a couple times on this album, so that's pretty cool. We got Shades of Death, which is an epic length track with like 7 minutes, 31 seconds. Pretty cool acoustic, orchestral like leanings in the start of it. About keeping your eyes open for the dangers that lurk around us in everyday life. Certain things, I think the chorus kind of drags for a little bit, but it's still a pretty strong track. Then we got 6, Locked and Loaded. This is a great tune. It definitely harkens back to like Fast as a Shark to me. Kind of got that assassin kind of thing. Saying you're worth more dead than alive.
Mm-hmm.
And the main riff has like an Egyptian kind of scale, I noticed in that song. So that's a pretty cool song. Then we got the bonus track, which they put in the middle of the album for some reason. Time Machine. That's a cool song about dealing with age, kind of aging, and I like it. Has a cool solo to it. Then number 8, we got Kill the Pain, which is the ballad. And I think this harkens back to kind of like earlier Priest ballads, kind of. I can hear, a little bit of like, maybe not Last Rose of Summer, but something like that, maybe. Maybe something like Dreamer Deceiver, maybe more like that.
I was going to say, it's definitely not as happy as Last Rose of Summer. That's not a happy topic, that's for sure.
No. Yep, that's Oh, and Mark's vocals on that song, complete different 180. You could tell I don't want to say Udo's one dimensional, but he kind of is a one dimensional singer in a good way, not in a bad way. Because, like, even on the ballads on the earlier records, he couldn't really change the vocal style like Mark can here, which is pretty killer. I like it. And we got Rolling Thunder. This is the only one I'm kind of like iffy about. But Herman Frank does the solo on the song, which I thought was kind of interesting because usually Wolf does all the solos. I wanted to bring up too this record. I think this is the first one that Gabby doesn't have anything to do with lyrically wise, at least since I'm a Rebel, because I don't think she wrote anything on the first record. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. They let Mark do everything, the new guy. Probably just pushed it on him a little bit. That's pretty cool. And we got number 10, Pandemic, which this track aged like fine wine, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, this pandemic he's thinking about is a metal pandemic. So I can kind of get down with that a little bit more than what we had to deal with.
Right.
But
exactly.
Yeah, I love this tune. I made a video for it. The video is pretty awesome. It's like a comic book kind of, like goes through the strips and they're playing and stuff. That's probably my favorite track on the back half of the record. Then we got New World Coming, which this one's kind of okay for me. Would have made a good B-side if this album came out earlier, maybe. About changing times in the world. It kind of reminds me of Neon Nights too, because I'm not sure how the intro is, but Wolf might be doing something kind of like how he was on that record. That's a good track. I got No Shelter as number 12 here, which is 604. Nice double bass driven rocker about the leaders of the world having no shelter to hide away to in the middle of the war. And I think Mark really brings out his Udo-isms. I wrote Udo-isms in my notes in this tune. And then gang backup vocals return on this track in the chorus. It's a nice bass groove from Peter on this one as well. I wanted to mention that in Teutonic Terror too. That's how it starts with that bass groove, and then it goes into the riff. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's killer. Then we got Bucket Full of Hate to end the record. It kind of reminds me of Fast as a Shark too, because it's got that like music box playing at the start. I mean, it's not the high D, high do, but it's kind of like that. It's playing like the main riff before it comes in. It says it charges in and takes no prisoners.
Right.
Yep. Maybe people who put up with a false facade. That's what this song's about a little bit. Talking a piece when all they have is a bucket full of hate. I really like this tune too, though. Chugging guitars, fast leads, killer rhythm section. I think it's a strong ending to the record. Of course, I don't have the bonus track like we talked about, but
yeah, there's like another bonus track out there for anybody with international versions or something like that. But
I believe it's called Land of the Free. I was going to check it out, but I never did. But I think, really personally, this is their best record since Metal Heart, to me. I mean, Mark was the right guy to front this group 100%. And you can tell they really, gelled as a band working together in this record.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say this is probably one of the best comeback albums. Definitely metal comeback albums, probably ever. So I could say maybe the only bad thing I would say is the length, maybe. I mean, we're starting to get an hour and 7 minutes. It's like, they probably could have cut some things, but it's all pretty solid, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only two I had, New World Coming and Rolling Thunder, and that's just because they're kind of samey as some of the other tracks, but they're still good songs. But yeah,
okay,
I give it a 9. I give it a 9 out of 10. I was gonna
9 out of 10. All right,
excellent.
I have a feeling we're going to see some nice numbers, aside from what we did for Predator, which did not have a very strong title track.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I don't go back to that one too often.
No. All right. Well, good stuff there, Logan. Good stuff. All right, John, take it away.
Accepts, reborn, revitalized. Accept were responsible for one of the personal metal holy shit moments of my life. When this album came out, they put out the video for Teutonic Terror. I thought this band was dead. Dead, dead, dead. A lot of bands were coming back. I never thought Accept would come back.
Mhm.
Never. And I saw this video and it was a holy shit moment. And it was like, oh my God, things are gonna be great again, is what was going through my head. Back during 2010, I was on MySpace and you could share videos on there. I shared that video on there. And I put in there that I never thought this would happen, but we got a new singer, but it's still Accept. We got the gang vocals, we got the great riffs, we have those well-written songs that stay in your brain, and it's heavy. They went back to their foundation. Andy Sneap is the perfect producer for Accept. Every album from this point sounds great, recording wise. Andy, it's too bad we couldn't put him in a time machine and had produced those 80s albums, which some of them, I mean, some of them were sounded good, but there was hit and miss in those productions. And we do have Herman Frank here back on. He was last on Balls to the Wall, and we got Stefan Schwartzman on drums, who played with them on some tours in the 90s because Stefan Kaufman was having issues with his back. Some of the other things I wrote here. Mark is the perfect choice to carry this band on. He has the voice to do the Udo songs, but he still has a distinct voice and style. This is one of the few long albums that I've heard where I'm like, what would I take off this? Everything's very good to great. But we'll get into that. Beat the Bastards. Wicked opener. What a chorus. Cut the ripcord. Don't look back. Burn your bridges down. Grab the handle. Clench your fist. Beat the bastards down. Fantastic. This just grabs you by the throat. And doesn't lay up for the whole album. The pre-chorus on here where to get thudding and it slows down, that picks up the pace. Magnificent. Driving. Blitzkrieg riffing on this song, as there is on a lot of tracks on here. Mark shines like the sun. As I said, perfect choice to carry Accept on and to give us one of their best albums, Teutonic Terror, which they now play as an encore. That's how much this song has gained in stature over the years. Their number 6 most played song live. You're always going to hear Teutonic Terror. The fans are waiting for Teutonic Terror. They're waiting for this like they're waiting for Fast as a Shark now. That's a fact. Oh my God. The video kicks ass. It's one of the cooler metal videos you'll ever see too. I think this is the best song they've done since Up to the Limit for Metal Heart. Menacing, melodic. There are so many hooks on this song. The Teutonic vocals, which we do get on the opener, Beat the Bastards, are perfectly executed on this song. What a fantastic performance. What a fantastic heavy metal song. It's probably my favorite song from 2010. Menacing, melodic, fantastic. The Abyss. We slow it down a little bit. This is more cerebral. We have a really cool bridge on here where Mark shows his diversity as a vocalist. That bridge, the way he's singing, it's almost like hair metal ballad territory, but it still works. Another killer chorus. If you want choruses on an Accept album, I think every chorus on here is a killer. Whether it's short or whether it's long. Excellent. It's a long song, but it doesn't feel long because it takes you in. And there's different movements on here, which are all very riveting and exciting. The solos on here are excellent. Great guitar line. Another excellent track. The title song, my second favorite song on the album, which they don't do live often, which I'll go into when we do our tour dates. Here, the call and response between Mark's lead vocal and the backing gang vocals works perfectly. Mark sings the hell out of this. His screams during the chorus are excellent. We're ready to fight. Blood of the nations. And then he goes back into that vocal. I can't sing like Mark. Mark can sing high. Mark has range, man.
Yeah.
He still has range. And he's 70. And he can still sing like a monster. This
We
is fantastic. The chorus is, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and we can attest to that after seeing them in concert earlier this
Exact. Oh
year.
my God, exactly. If you've never seen them live, please go see them live because they kill live.
Yes.
They still kill live. I mean, don't get in all hung up on the well, Wolf's the only original guy. These guys are tight. And they were so tight in the 80s as well. They were one of the great opening bands that would always come in and kick your ass. They still have that same spirit.
Mhm.
Musically tight, energetic. They don't bullshit around like they don't do the let's see what side of the crowd can sing louder than the other. They don't do that. They just come in and destroy you.
Yep.
That's accept. Fantastic title track though. The pre-chorus on this before it goes into chorus is also awesome. Shades of Death. Now this is slower, more cerebral. We got string arrangements here from Mello Mafali, who does the string arrangements on this track as well as Kill the Pain. And we got shades of symphonic metal here. The string arrangements work perfectly. They add to the proceedings very well. But it's this slow burn, and then when they go into that main riff, and with the strings accompanying it, it is excellent. Again, we got another strong pre-chorus on here. The chord changes after the chorus are magnificent. Excellent track again. Locked and Loaded is the shortest song. It's we do get a little bit of repetition here on the faster songs. Some of these songs that are really real fast near thrash songs, they do sound a little samey after a while, but again, they're all strong. Wicked. Great use of space on here. The gang vocals sound fantastic on here. You really hear Stefan and Peter during the verses where their guitars are taking a bit of a break and then they play the chords at the end of the line in each verse. They kick. This is heavy. This is, you think this band is old? Listen to this song. I mean, they do not sound like a band that's in their 50s. This is wicked. Lyrically, is very poignant as well. Time Machine. This has an opening that is a little bit like Unchained Tonight by Dawkins, but not quite as strong as that opening. That's a thank you, John. That is a
That's it.
Unchained Tonight is one of the best songs as far as a slow burn in the beginning. This has that same feel. This is a more mid-tempo, yet very merciless song again. Again, we're starting out slow and then we go into that chorus. Again, what a great chorus on here. Great riffs on this, very strong. Kill the Pain is the ballad. Now here Mark shines. You're listening to Mark's vocals on here, you're like, this is the guy who did Locked and Loaded? Locked and Loaded, he sounds like a banshee. Here he sounds tender and reflective, but it works. As do those string arrangements. Wolf's wonderful solos on here, very lyrical, excellent. It has this sense of drama on it, which great ballads always have this nice sense of drama. This works very well. Rolling Thunder, as Logan indicated, we got Herman Frank doing the lead guitar solo on this one. Very chugging and ferocious. Again, short bridge, but just comes in, just kicks your ass. Very, very solid track. I'm with him. It's like, it's very good, but again, we start to sound a little repetitive, but it's still, I mean, you can't fault the song at all. It comes in, it does what it's supposed to do. Pandemic, a strong track that aged very well because of what we go through 10 years later. Now, this was a song they played live, but it wasn't a staple until we went through a pandemic. And when I saw them in 2021, it was their first show since the pandemic. And they did do this song, and Mark said a few unkind words about how the pandemic was handled. And, I couldn't argue it with him. Pandemic is a killer track, number 7 most played live song. So fans are waiting for this one now, too. Again, we got a great chorus on here. The riffs are killer. Joyous presentation, even though we're talking about something nasty. The fade out or the ride out on this song, the solos at the end are excellent. Fantastic track. But how, again, did we think it was going to gain notoriety by something that happened worldwide? New World coming. Now, I have a different take than Logan on this. I love the Mark era as far as the mid-tempo songs. And I'll go into that deeper on Stalingrad. These mid-tempo melodic songs, I think, are the real strong point of Accepts in the Mark era. I love this. I love the whoa, there's a new world coming. I love that. I love the call and
Great
response
chorus.
on them. We got a nice bass intro on here, which is pretty cool. It looks like there's like a wah wah or a flanger in there, or flanger. Again, excellent track. Short but effective chorus, which I attempted to sing, but this kills. No Shelter. Now we're getting heavy and fast again. Yes, we've heard this before. Wicked call and response on this with Mark and the gang vocals. Peter and Stefan sound fantastic on this, and you can really hear them because, again, we have the guitars taking a bit of a break during the verses. That's the one thing about Andy Sneap. God, does he really do a great job with the rhythm section? Not only with Accept, but with Saxon, Judas Priest, and the other bands that he's doing the production on. Wicked soloing on here. Excellent delivery. Short, effective chorus. This just crushes. Bucket full of hate. We've got this medieval guitar line that opens the song, which we revisit throughout the song. It's chugging, but yet it's a slower track. We're mixing the fast with the more melodic tracks on here. We change up the tempo at the end, and we end it very cerebral, like we would a bounce of fail from Metal Heart. It has that kind of feel in the way it closes the album, and the long ride out, long fade out ends this album perfectly. 9.5. Now, let me preface. Again, it's like, what do you cut out? It's long. I don't like long albums. I talked about that on Death Row. But to me, this reminds me of The Symbol Remains by Blue Oyster Cults. Another long album. Not as long, probably as many songs, maybe one extra song, but their songs are shorter. But again, you listen to an album, you're like, what would I cut out? Maybe Train True. That might be it. The rest of that album is very solid. That's how I feel about this album. One more thing I'd like to get into. This comeback is one of the greatest comebacks in music. This reminds me of Meatloaf coming back in the 90s because a lot of people didn't see it coming. But if you paid attention at that point, he was getting his mojo back touring and playing college campuses in the 80s. When you were driving your car around in the 80s and you had your car stereos blasting, they were playing a lot of the music of the day, but you also heard a lot of Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell. And there was this slow burn going on. So when that comeback came, he exploded. A huge number one hit. I Do Anything for Love, but that album was really huge.
Uh-huh.
This comeback was on that same level, not as high, of course. But the difference here is you saw the slow burn with Meatloaf playing these theaters, and I knew a lot of people who saw Meatloaf in the 80s when he wasn't selling records at all, and they were like, oh my God, Meatloaf was fantastic. But this is different, the fact that this just hit us out of blue. We didn't see this coming. Like the pandemic. Well, there was a little bit you heard, but you figured it might pass. This just hit us out of the blue, and it was a holy shit moment. So to me, Accept's comeback with Blood and Nations is that of Meatloaf. I know I'm talking two different genres of music, but both fantastic live performers too.
Yes.
If you rest in peace, Meatloaf, but God, I saw him twice and he killed live. It was like seeing a play, but because there was so much drama and everything. But oh my God, it was just magnificent. I'm not saying that Accept or the Meatloaf of metal or anything. I'm just making a comparison with the comeback. I know this was a little long winded, but
Oh,
again, 9.5 for Blood of Nations.
love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Great.
Ah, man, I don't know if I can, I don't know how much more I can add to this because it's like, the one thing, here's the one thing. We barely said anything about anything here sounding like AC/DC.
Nope.
Maybe once. I think Logan, you mentioned it once with Brian Johnson,
Brian
and
Johnson.
that was
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
So there's one big difference, and I think that's your Andy Sneap production coming into play there. I think that's what's
Absolutely.
that's what's helped take the AC/DC out of Accept. Now, what did it get replaced with sounding? Well, let's just say every song here, great song construction. I mean, everything here, with the exception of Rolling Thunder, here it's written by Mark, Wolf, and Peter. Okay, Rolling Thunder is just Herman and Mark, and that's it.
Yes.
So let's get that part out of the way. Stefan Schwartzman and Peter,
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just gonna blanket it because that's how this whole album is, and it's just and you hear all of the separation of the, especially when you're hearing it on here on headphones. You're hearing everything so well. You're hearing the driving bass. You're hearing that pulsating drums that just keeps banging your head into oblivion with almost every track. This album. You're right. When it starts off with "Beat the Bastards." You may as well just call us the bastards because they're beating the heck out of us through this entire album.
Yep.
Love every minute of it.
And like Loverboy, we're gonna love every minute of it. Um, yeah, welcome in Mark Tornillo. Truth be told, when I first started listening to this, because I got this off iTunes back in 2010 when it came out, and I don't think I got through the entire album because Mark's voice wasn't doing it for me. There was something he was trying to sound like Udo, but he sounded really strained doing it. And there was something that just back in 2010 and then trying to listen to it since, it just took a long time before it finally kicked in. And I'm like, okay, no, that I'm hearing this completely wrong. And then you see him live and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I was smoking back in 2010, but apparently I wasn't getting it. So no, I came to very much appreciate Mark's vocals here. Um, the only thing I will say though is this album was a very hard one to do a lot of repeat listening to for me. It's a great album. First, let me just say that. It's a great album, but I found this very hard to listen repetitively. Like there was no way I could just end it once, start over again, end it once, start over again. No, I had to. This is one I kind of once, maybe a day or so, and that was about all I could handle. my poor brain was like saying, "Stop." It was a little like Jugulator almost, not but just not quite as abrasive. But anyway, okay, so yeah, beat the bastards. Of course, you're getting your butt kicked right out the gate. Um, I'm gonna try and read my notes here because you got the lyrical solos. You just got again lyrical solos, great construction all the way through. Blanket that, not just so I don't have to repeat myself all the time. Um, Teutonic Terror. I almost felt like it was a little bit of a Scorpions kind of feel at points. Maybe a little bit more up tempo. Again, you got Peter's bass, battle cry song would come to be a crowd favorite, as John has already alluded to. Wonderful, wonderful track. The Abyss. Okay, so you get the a very chord rocking song with that acoustic flavor. 7 minute epic here. Lyrically, what are we talking about? Yeah, basically the state of the world kind of an idea here. Um, love the solo, love the bridge. That just fits the mood. This is just such an atmospheric song. One thing that I was noticing when Mark would sing cleaner, not that really raspier voice, but when he would sing more clean, there were times, and I think I see it a little later, like in Time Machine. I almost hear like a little bit of a Bruce Dickinson snarl to his approach, at least sound, sonically wise. Not saying that's it completely, but that's kind of what I was hearing. It's like I feel like I could hear Bruce singing this a little bit. I think it was Time Machine where I saw that, but I'll get to that. The title track, "Blood of the Nations." I love this track. Another battle cry. I agree. I would love to have heard this one live. Man, a crowd would go nuts to this song. Again, a great riff groove. Um, the gang vocal, lyrical, so again, all the things I've already said 100 times. Shades of Death. You get the nice somber opening that transitions into a real in-your-face headbanger. Let's see, kind of the ghosts of life wanting to be set free. Kind of how I looked at the lyrics with this. Locked and Loaded, the shortest track, like John alluded to. Again, kind of a song about being on the battlefield, the hunt that attacks you straight up, pretty much. It just love it. I love the Slinky breakdown. Again, with those lyrical solos, I dug that. Time Machine, I love that moody opening again. Driving verse, time just keeps moving. If we could only go back to fix the mistakes of what we've done in the past. God, how many times have we said that about certain songs, right? I feel like that's always been a theme here. But again, love the solos with the choir. Um, kill the pain, or as I like to, I almost wanted to call this sunrise sunset.
Hmm.
Do 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 do. I don't know. I don't think it's not it exactly, but it certainly gives it enough of a feel. But it is not it's not a beautiful song quite like Sunrise Sunset. No,
Right.
this lyrically this is a very very dark, very deep track. Great section. I love about just the emotional, again, the emotional Wolf solo. Great track. But yeah, I couldn't help but put the Sunrise Sunset part in there. Rolling Thunder. Let's see. Time to. If you were falling asleep during that last song, then this one would wake you back up. Um, again, good, good outing here with Herman's writing. Again, I agree with what you guys are saying. A little kind of getting a little samey in the sound, but there's just enough there to keep it interesting. Pandemic, just another good riff pounding song. You know, you can look at a pandemic as what we went through with the COVID, or you could look at it as how this song describes it, kind of as a how you look at it from a person and how what they say and maybe a music or a band and just how it infects one and just keeps spreading throughout the arena or however you want to call it. But again, a very much a crowd favorite, as John has alluded to, and we'll allude to more on when we get to um, the tour dates. New World coming. Yeah, you got that wad drenched opening, gives way to almost like a Princess of the Dawn little kind of feel with the kind of that kind of so very familiar territory. Doesn't go in that same direction like Princess of the Dawn does. I like where, like John says, I love where the chorus goes. It's whether you want to believe it or not, there is a new world coming, folks. It's coming around the bend. Who knows when it'll happen, but it's coming. So we need to just be ready for it. And gotta love the gang vocals again. No Shelter, like you guys have already talked about with how riches and power can be turned to rags very quickly, and you just get that all that power that you thought you had can get stolen away from you. I love the creative solo ideas throughout the song. I thought was kind of nice. Bucket Full of Hate. Gee, I don't know what this song could be about. I think this is a peace and love, guys. I don't think so. No, you think you're going to get a little lullaby to start the song? Nope. 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 It does not let off the gas, and it just keeps pummeling you all the way to the end. Yeah, love that kind of that grinding ending solo and fade out. I think it cleans out this album really well. Um, I really was gonna give this an 8.75 because the length was killing me. But I'm really just I'm gonna go with what you guys are saying. I'm gonna do a 9 with this one. So that's where I stand with this album. It's a fantastic album. Uh, One that I would definitely revisit over the previous three that we had heard from Accept at this point. Probably even four if you go back to like Russian Roulette, and Eat the Heat. That would be five. That'd be
That'd be
five.
fun. Yeah.
I'm getting old, people. Leave me alone. Anyway, so yeah, no, this is a great album. This would definitely be a top tier Accept album for me. So there you go. What kind of tour did we get from these guys for this piece of slab?
We got 106 dates,
Woo!
and they hit South America, they hit Japan, they hit Russia, they went all over Europe. I'm going to be mentioning some countries I have not mentioned before. I'm going to try to bang these out quick because there's so much. And I wanted to make sure I hit every country on here. But before we do that, 11 songs from this album have been played live. All but Time Machine and Locked and Loaded. Rolling Thunder was only played once. Blood of the Nations was only played 3 times. Beat the Bastards was only played 4 times, and that was on this Blood of the Nations tour.
Hmm.
Kill the Pain would not get played until 2019.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting.
and The Abyss, well, John and I did not see this, but, and Davey Greeton, or Nick Esquire, uh, they're playing The Abyss live now as we're doing this video.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
freaking cool, huh? But they started at the Gramercy Theater on May 8th, 2010 in New York, New York. And 3 days later, they would play the Forum Place in Vilnius, Lithuania. We're bouncing all over on this tour. You'll see why I said that. B1 Maximum Club, Moscow, Russia. Virgin Oil Company, Helsinki, Finland. Debasers, Slogan or Slussen, and Stockholm, Sweden. They played a lot of festivals, but I'm only going to give the also on the bill part on 2 of the festivals. And one of them was Rock Hard Festival 2010 in Gleisenkirchen, Germany. Also on the bill, it was a 3-day festival. We got Sabaton, Bloodbath, Bulldozer, Creator, Raven, Nevermore, Rage, and Virgin Steel. They played De Paul Great Zeal in Uden, Netherlands. O2 Academy, Islington, London, England, Rockstar Live, or Calda, Spain, ZZ Concert Fabric in Pratin, Switzerland. I know we've mentioned that venue before. We got the Semi-Sphere Romania 2010 in Bucharest, Romania. We got Sonosphere Turkey 2010 in Istanbul, Turkey. Those festivals, we also had the big four of heavy metal or thrash metal playing on those festivals as well. And you know who they are: Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. We also had Manowar and Volbeat. And on one of these festivals, we had Alice in Chains playing too. We have Kaverna Rock Festival, Kaverna, Bulgaria, Monsters of Rock in Vizovice, Czechia. They played Prague Power USA 11 in Atlanta, Georgia. And then they go back to we're in the States now again. We played Ram's Head live in Baltimore, Maryland. For these dates in the States, and I am kicking myself for not going to see this. King's X was playing with them, promoting the 15 album.
Wow.
Any who follow me know that I love King's X. It was like a co-headline. King's X would get an encore, as would accept. And just to let you know, on those dates, on this tour, except we're playing long sets, 25, 26 shows a night sometimes, if it was just them. I mean,
Wow.
they were hitting almost every album. They played the Silo in Reading, Pennsylvania. That's the show I would love to have seen because that's where I'm closest to. Starland Ballroom, Sayreville, New Jersey, Emerald Theater, Mount Clemens, Michigan, Scott Sports Bar and Nightclub, Middleton, Wisconsin, Arcadia Theater, St. Charles, Illinois. Then we go to Loud Park 10 in Tokyo, Japan. And they did the Key Club in West Hollywood, California. Take a few months off. We go to 2011. For this tour in Europe, their opening band would be Steel Wing, who are promoting the Lord of the Wasteland album. And they are bouncing all over the place, playing at Trix Zal in Burgerhout, Belgium, Elise Montmartre in Paris, France, Magazzini General in Milan, Italy. Hello, Mangus.
That's
Can't
right.
forget that again. Evans Hall in Gieselwind, Germany, Arena in Vienna, Austria, Club 202 in Budapest, Hungary, Club Studio, Krakow, Poland. Polish power! Masters of Rock Cafe, Zlin, Czechia, Gagarin 2015 in Athens, Greece, Rockefeller Music Hall in Oslo, Norway, Finnish Metal Expo in Helsinki, Finland, Palace of Sports, Minsk, Belarus, Hammerfest 2011 in Preston, Wales, The Village in Dublin, Ireland, Spring and Airbreak in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Then we go back to the States again. Club Firestone in Orlando, Florida. Before I move on, opening band on this tour, Sabaton for the Art of War album. Club Soda in Montreal, Quebec. Blondies in Detroit, Michigan. El Corazon in Seattle, Washington. Galaxy Theater, Santa Ana, California. Scout Bar, Webster, Texas. Grico Vodolar in Mexico City, Mexico. Barranco Bar in Lima, Peru. Cintero de Julio in La Paz, Bolivia. Now we're going all over to South America. Club Cadillac, Santiago, Chile. El Teatro Flores, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Carica Club, Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we end with Metal Camp 2011 in Tolmin, Slovenia. There you go. They played everywhere.
Whew.
What's that Johnny Cash song? I've been everywhere, man.
Yep.
I've been ever. Yeah, wow. Which really then brings the question to me because you said that was going into 2011, right?
Yes.
So it really makes me wonder when the heck did they have time to get this recorded
Yeah.
and released in 2012? let's let's for the extra inside cover there. But yeah, golly. Yeah, wow, that's a world tour right there. Boy,
No doubt
that
about it.
gives it might not be exactly on world slavery tour levels, but boy, it's close enough.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So wow, okay. So Logan, this is your first foray, I think, into doing a show like this. You've usually always been in the comments, correct?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
what shows are you looking forward to? I guess watching in the as the future comes, unless you've gotten other options now to join a show like this. Have you got anything in the pipeline that you want to talk about?
Not yet, really. I mean, I'd like to do something with Grant sometime, maybe, but no.
Okay. Well, Grant, if you're watching, finally got him on. And
You gotta take Logan out of aisle 9. I mean, you gotta
yeah,
put him on camera.
yeah, gotta get him some. Gotta get the that aisle nine. What aisle nine's been cleaned up for a long time. So,
Yeah.
all right, John, what you got coming up on the channel?
Okay. It's Thin Lizzy Thursday continues on my channel, the Music Nut program. This coming Thursday, I will be doing Thin Lizzy's eighth album from 1977, Bad Reputation. And I'll be on the Contrarians in the near future as well. And of course, we'll be continuing to do the Accept Up to Limit series here on my Music Corner. So
That's
there you
right.
go.
All right. So yeah. So other than a couple little solo things, I'm just kind of throwing out um, just to broaden their horizons a little bit with Mortification Monday and uh, album track ranking A through Z, just for something fun and quick to do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have. I think other than the Contrarian show this week, yeah, I don't think I have anything this happening this week. So I know Thursday, John. I believe you'll be up in Stroudsburg, I believe.
Oh, yes, for Wasp and
This
Armored Saints.
Yes. Yeah, my show's not until the following Wednesday, so the day before Thanksgiving. So I still have a little bit more time to wait for that show. So that should be a good one. So there you go, folks. But yeah, so you know the deal. What do you think about Blood of the Nations, folks? I know a few people out there love this album. They can't wait to, and I know they probably couldn't wait for us to talk about this one. But next week we take a look at Stalingrad. Like, not gonna try to talk like a was it the Brothers in Death is the subtitle for this. So we'll have and the guest that we've got lined up for that will be we've got Jack Toledano from All or Not According to Jack. So we'll have he's going to be the who we got lined up for that, and then yeah, we'll be winding. We'll go through December and we'll wind this dog down, as Logan likes to say. So there you go. So young Logan, thank you, my friend, for joining us on this.
Hey,
Thanks,
As
Logan,
all
Logan.
let me do this. I appreciate it.
As always, my co-captain on this, John the Music Nut from the Music Nut program. Thank you again, my brother.
Well,
Again,
thank you.
all of this happens, I say, because I give John a lot of the credit for everything that goes on in my music corner, as far as I'm concerned. And I want to continue to watch his channel continue to grow. So keep giving him some likes and subscribes, folks. So John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner of the world. We'll see you soon. Take care and rock forever, y'all. Take care.